Hey guys, Dan MacArthur here with Vibe Realty. Just wanted to come at you with a quick market update. I kind of want to go through sort of all the stats that we're seeing back from the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, and then I'll sort of talk about what I'm seeing anecdotally as I'm working with buyers and sellers in this market. So first thing, let's just get into what the median pricing is. I like looking at median more than averages. It's a little better measure of where we're at. So right now, the median price for a detached home in the Fraser Valley is $935,000. Looking at apartments, we're at $370,000. Townhomes, we're at $565,000. And homes with acreages, we're at 1.5 million, basically 1.5 million, 35,000. So looking at sort of the trends, like let's pop back to detached homes. We are seeing a bit of a price recovery from probably the bottom of the market that we saw over the summer and then through into the fall. So we are seeing a bit of recovery. One thing that we're, maybe that's weird about this market right now is the lack of inventory. There is shockingly few homes for sale. So let me just pull that data for you now. So new listings, we're seeing, a very few new properties get listings, and then go into active listings. That trend follows the same. So we saw a lot of inventory coming onto the spring of last year and then falling off completely. This is rolling the data, so it's sort of smoothing the curves. Looking at each data point, each monthly data point, it's a little more alarming in terms of how much inventory is on the market. So if you're shopping right now, if you're looking on Realtor.ca or any of the sites, and you're like, I can't find anything that makes that I would even want to go see, it's probably a function of this, because there just isn't a lot of inventory. We usually expect to see it over, as we enter into the Christmas seasons. Obviously, folks aren't really listing their home in December and even January. But even looking historically, we are at kind of an all-time low. So popping back to sales to actives, I love the sales to actives ratio as sort of a litmus test for who's favored in the market, whether it's buyers or sellers who's sort of in the driver's seat. So looking at detached homes right now, we're looking at an absorption or a sales to actives ratio of right at 19%. So that is sort of on the high side of a balanced market favoring the seller. We call a balanced market anywhere between 12 and 20%. We say that's balanced. If you go back to sort of the boom, we can go back a little further here in terms of years. But look at the sales to actives, say in March of 2016, when things were going over list. Folks were writing $50,000 over list price with no subjects and all that sort of stuff for detached homes, big purchases. We're seeing a peak there of 70% absorption, which is just crazy. It's not really healthy, and we're kind of coming off the last 3 or 4 years where it has been such a crazy seller's market that now people say, oh, how's the real estate market is super slow, right? Well, it is slowed down for sure, but it's probably a heck of a lot healthier than it was, as we look into 2016. And slow, rural Saskatchewan, look at absorption rates of like 2 or 3%, right? Slow 19% is not slow. 19% is quite healthy in my opinion. So moving from detached, let's look at the sales to actives for apartments. Now we're in a slight seller's market, which makes sense. The income distribution is bigger for townhomes, and like the income distribution in terms of who can actually afford these things is bigger in townhomes and in apartments. So we expect more of them to get bought up every month. So with the absorption in January for apartments, we're right at 24%. So a slight seller's market. Townhomes, we're right at 29%. So, a proper seller's market, in my opinion. Homes with acreages, again, we're not going to see the absorption that we do with townhomes, apartments, and even detached homes. We're right down to 6.6%. So homes with acreages, so obviously properties, as well as sort of that luxury market once you're sort of into an acre, 2 acres, and you have that big fancy house on that thing. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Days on market. Let's look at detached. How long is it going to take to sell your home? We'll roll this data so it's a little smoother. So we're looking at about a month, with the data smooth for a detached home in the Fraser Valley. Looking at, so 43 days to a month, depending on whether you're looking at the monthly data or you're looking at the smooth data. So a lot of this can get thrown off too by where you price. If you price on the high side of the market's really fickle right now, and you won't get a lot of traction. What I'm kind of been seeing, anecdotally, is the homes that are selling. There's a lot of folks that tried to sell their home in September, October, and now they took it off the market over December. They're coming back on in January, and they're coming out maybe $30,000 or $40,000 less than where they started. Maybe they started at $950. Now they're down to the $889, and they're getting a ton of traction at their open houses, and they're getting deals together pretty quickly as a result of that. And there is a lot of sort of pent up demand because there's just not a lot of inventory out there right now. Folks are coming out, and if something is kind of a cool house or presenting value to the market in terms of what it is and where it's priced, it gets a lot of traction. So if you are thinking about selling right now, it is a good time to list, because again, you're just not competing with very much. But I mean, the other edge of that sword is that if you sell your house, then you got nowhere to live and you got to buy something, right? So it is a challenge right now to find something that's priced well. One thing that I would say, speaking again to the market that we've seen over the last 3, 4, 5 years, buyer clients that I work with are generally afraid to present an offer that's $40,000, $30,000 less than the list price. They don't think it's even going to be considered because 2-3 years ago that was absolutely true. But we look at some inventory that's been sitting on the market for 47 days, 50 days, 100 days. If you like the home, you want to do a renovation, you want to do this, want to do that, and you think that it's worth, say, $750 and they're listed for $810 or something like that, I would take a run at it. I helped some buyer clients put a deal together in December, and we got in there for $50,000 less than where they were listed at. So there is potential out there, guys. I'd take a run at it. So anyway, guys, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if that adds any value for you. I hope it does. If you have any specific questions for me, feel free to call, text, or email anytime. Always love to talk real estate. Thanks, guys. Bye now.